Just started this, 17 seconds ago. So anyway, I'll jump straight to it since I titled this special announcement. The most popular video I have uploaded to my channel, or to the channel, actually in all time, the most popular video I've uploaded to the channel, the customer has requested that I take it down. So the video I just uploaded last week that brought close to 1,000 of you to the channel, I think 47,000 views. URL Tower, how are you doing? I had to set it to private. So it's kind of frustrating for me because that video was doing very well, especially for my channel. It was doing fantastic. But it is what it is. I mean, such is the way life goes when you're in an industry that serves companies. So I guess you could kind of say it's maybe a little bit of censorship. I don't know. But anyway, that was the special announcement. The other frustrating part is I went to pretty great lengths to make sure that I didn't show any company names or divulge any company names and whatnot. Did a lot of creative editing to make sure that that stuff was hidden. But what do you do? I guess I just make another video and carry on. So with that being said, I'm thinking, and I'll get your guys' take on this, I'm thinking about doing a time lapse of that cell phone tower that we did. Like from start to finish, just do a 10-minute time lapse video. I've got 29 pieces of video footage ranging anywhere from 3 minutes to 18 minutes a piece. And it's going to be a lot of footage to cram together. But I'm thinking I might do a time lapse of that. Edgar Benjamin Cruz, how are you doing? So those of you that just tuned in, I can see now we got 27 of you watching. The special announcement is the video that has been the overachiever on my channel since day one. I've had to set it to private. Jason Heltzley, how are you doing? Soldier of Dirt, how are you doing? But yeah, at the customer's request. So there's that. It kind of bummed me out because I've been babysitting that thing last week, just watching it because it's kind of been blowing my mind at how many views that thing was getting. So, it just astonished me. But it is what it is. Barry Simmons, how are you? Gravity Pirate says, can you speak about why the cranes in New Orleans have to be demolished? Justin Heil, how are you doing, Justin? Josh Wellner. Jason Heltzley, the video that I had to take down was the recovery video. Recovering the wind turbine. Jennifer Murtha Stevens, how are you doing? It has been a very long time. So Gravity Pirate asks, he said, can you speak about why the cranes in New Orleans have to be demolished? Given what they went through with that building collapsing, they're probably considered a total loss. So the safest way to bring them down would be to controlled demolition. It'd be better than trying to get a machine in there, have people working around the rubble. They'd rather, who knows how unstable those cranes are at this point. So it's best just to blast them down. Jason Heltzley, yeah, that does suck. I was pretty bummed about it. Still pretty bummed about it. Ron Briggs, how are you doing, Ron? Cecil McKinley, how are you doing? Says, moving down and all settled. Work is slow, but I've been busy otherwise. Still following the channel and watching. Thanks for that. And really, the only way a channel grows is shared videos. So like if someone uploads a video and you share it, or even likes, even dislikes is audience interaction, but sharing a video is the quickest way to grow a channel. Ryan Robinson, how are you doing? So all of you people out there, if you want to help creators expand their horizons, sharing it on social media, Facebook, Instagram, all that good stuff. Josh Wellner, I don't know what was wrong with the video. I honestly don't think there was anything wrong with it. I mean, I didn't record anything that the local media couldn't have recorded other than the fact that it was from the crane seat. We were on a public highway. There was no company names or anything divulged. I didn't say any company names. I blurred everything out. So they didn't like it. I guess, for some reason or another, it just didn't strike a chord with them. Well, it did. It just evidently they didn't care for it. So down it goes. Maxwell Hauser, 66. We are about an hour north of Kansas City. American Travel Journal, how are you doing? But I can tell you, in the week that video was up, it brought a lot of viewers to the channel. I think we picked up almost 1,000 in the last 6 days. So there's that, and it's a lot of watch time, and it expanded the views on the other videos that we have. So Barry Simmons, not politically correct, no wind critiques allowed, and that could be part of it too. The wind industry is kind of a fragile industry, and it can get political very fast. And you guys know me, I don't do the politics. So, and then your business just getting here, they're making you take the wind turbine. Yes, that is what it's about. Customer requested that I take it down, so I took it down. Ron Pratt, like I told you earlier, it will all work out, and it will. And I fully believe that. And kudos to Ron Pratt. He is a rock star. I was frustrated earlier, and I was kind of bothered by it all. And I sent Ron a text, and I sent Trent a text, and both of those guys immediately responded to me and gave me advice on it. And rock stars. So if I have any subscribers that are not subscribed to Ron Pratt, which I don't know how that could be, definitely go over and check Ron Pratt out. If there was more Rons in the world, it would be a much better place. So Terry Schaefer says, "You're the man, Jimmy. Love your videos." Maxwell Hauser, hey, Ron's here. Blue Line, I'm not sure why they wanted it taken down, and I'm guessing it's because of, like I was saying earlier, the fragile nature of the wind turbine industry or the wind industry. There's a lot of people on both sides of the fence with it, and I would not want to project them in a negative light. I mean, that's not how I am, and that's not who I am. There's pros and cons to it, and I guess they saw it as negative, and so there we go. So let's see. Kyle Bass asks, how long do you think someone should rig before they get in the seat? I think a person should be an oiler more than a rigger before they get in the seat, because as an oiler, you're learning crane assembly, you're learning what it takes to make the crane function. And if you have a good operator, a lot of times they'll give you some seat time. Ron Pratt says, thanks, Jimmy. You don't need to thank me for that, Ron. Blue Line, that was my mini viral video for my channel. That was a viral video. It got about 47,000 views in a week, which that's the most views I've ever had on any video on this channel. So, and like Ron said earlier in the text, he said the channel, actually, I'll just read it verbatim because it was great advice. He said, stick with what's right and the channel will grow, all things in God's time. And there's no truer statement than that. And then your business said, I guess I don't understand why they wanted it taken down. And, you know, it is, like I said, it is what it is. John Warren said, what did I miss out on, boss? I had to remove a video at the request of a customer. And I'm not coming on here to bash the customer or the fact that they want me to take it down. That's not what I'm doing. What I came on here for was to let everybody know that, hey, if you're looking for that video, I took it down, and the reason being is because they asked me to. So Ron Pratt says I've had to take videos down as well. It's all part of it. We all learn as we go. Another video will surface when it's time. John Warren. It was the recovery video that we did. So, like I said, you know, when we work in the service industry, like I do, and like Ron does, and we have to be sensitive to our clients. And if they say, hey, take it down, you've got one of two options. You can lose a client and make people upset, or you can, you know, satisfy their request and just take the video down and carry on, and no one's upset, and you keep a happy customer that way. And realistically, if it's something that makes someone upset, I don't want it up anyway, because I don't, you know, that video wasn't generating a lot of negativity. It was generating some negativity towards the wind industry, and I try to keep this channel as upbeat as possible. Blue Line says one of my videos will be broadcast on Discovery Highway. Oh, that's cool. None of your businesses. How about the people that have shared it on Facebook and the ones who have mirrored the video? I'm not sure about that. Now, I know on Facebook shares, if they click on the link, the video won't show up. William Deegan's, yep, says there will be other videos. Can you do a signals video? Looks like people need it. I can do it. I can absolutely do a signals video. Let's see. Russell McKnight, Halifax, Nova Scotia, Canada, had a high-rise crane that came down. A crane that was there to recover was a Grove. Heard of it? I've heard of Grove cranes. I don't know about the one in Canada. I haven't seen that yet. URL tower. You know, that could be it. I'm not sure. Yeah, John Warren says once you remove from YouTube, it removes for Facebook and all other social media. So I think that's how that goes. I'm not sure. But yeah, if you guys want a crane signals video, I would be glad to put one together. I'll probably just do it in here. It would be pretty quick and to the point. Lester and Thompson, how are you doing? It says, hey, Jimmy, I trust all is well with you guys. Mr. Pratt is right. And all in God's time. Yep. Jennifer Saunders, do you annual checks on all chains and wire slings on a daily? We do check our rigging before it is used each time. Scott Dominguez, how are you? Says hello from Tennessee. Again, love your videos. Thanks for that. Husey Tube said majority of people only watch the video once, so most wouldn't even notice if it was gone if you hadn't pointed out. That it's been getting a lot of shares, so I'm assuming that a lot of people are saying, hey, check this video out. And hey, check this video out. And it's getting a lot of views. So I want anybody that has subscribed to the channel that's trying to show that video to people, and they click on it and they're like, wait a minute, now it's not there. Alex Williamson's Blind Adventure said you would have to do audio cues for me as well. And for those that don't know who Alex is, Alex Williamson's Blind Adventures is, as far as I know, my one and only blind subscriber. So he's got some videos of him with his die cast and model equipment. So you guys can go check him out. John Warren, we need Mike to do that video. We might be able to get Mike to do the hand signals video. Jason Heltzley, you're welcome for the wrench. Kyle Bass just started working in the USA for cranes. It's a lot different than Georgia, the country. What's the difference of oiler and rigger? So an oiler, is basically the crane operator's assistant. The rigger is primarily a person that just rigs stuff to be flown on the hook. Richard Coggins, how are you? Russell McKnight. The grove looked to be very wide. Seems it took up most of the street. I'll get some crane shots. If you get some shots, you can email them to me. Let's see. Let me get this thing kicked up there. Nathaniel Lee. Oh, you got in a little late. I had to take a video down. Oh, Ron Pratt. That's a good point. Says what happens is large groups pick up a video and share it. Their viewers share it, and it keeps going exponentially. Then you have a huge spike in views. Yeah, Russell McKnight, that is my email for the channel. So Trent sent me a text shortly after I posted that video, and it had been shared on a private group on Facebook for heavy wreckers and recovery. So I think that's where a lot of the views came from. It's a private group, so I couldn't go onto Facebook and see how the video was doing on there, any of the responses to it or any of that. So I'm assuming that's what was driving that video. But so Alex Williamson's Blind Adventures, I have to apologize to you now because I'm thinking about taking the 29 pieces of footage that I have from the cell phone tower job and turning them into a time lapse. And in doing so, I'm going to lose all the audio. But that's the only way I know to compile 29 pieces of video into. I mean, if I put that together as a full length video, it would probably be 2.5 hours long. So I'm probably going to condense it into about 15 minutes of really fast cell phone tower assembly time lapse. Southern Dirt 95, how are you doing? Larry Shed, I'm actually not Mike. I'm Jimmy. Mike is the oiler that's typically with me. Narrator, greetings. Hope you're well. I'm doing well. Hope you're doing well. Jason Helsley says that Ron Pratt, I really enjoyed your video that you posted today. It was awesome that the truck was able to drive away under its own power. Nunya Business said he went to Alex Williamson's channel to subscribe, and it says no recent activity. So I don't know. You'll have to, I don't know. Alex will have to respond to that. Jennifer Saunders asks a good question. What's the future of cranes in the USA? Bigger, higher tonnage, more modular in designing? I would say all of the above. So I do know that hydros are getting bigger and bigger. I even talked to some people at a crane manufacturer, and they were working on a 600 plus ton hydro and decided that they were going to up the game and go to something much larger because the market for the 600 ton was actually kind of going away. And realistically, the cranes that they're turning out now are just absolutely enormous. And logistically, anything bigger than like what I operate starts becoming a nightmare. You get to a 500 ton and you're talking, 300 plus thousand pounds of counterweight, several trucks for jib, taking outrigger beams off. They just become a logistical nightmare. The narrator says it's pretty interesting to see the difference between cranes in Europe and cranes in the U.S. We don't have those black lines on our load charts. Some of our cranes over here don't either. Maxwell Hauser 66 says, Ron, say hi to Talon for us. We miss seeing him. John Warren says, well, boss, I got to run again. Hope you're feeling better, John. Nathaniel Lee said, can you please tell me what the special announcement is? I had to take a video down. That was the special announcement. Cecil McKinley, the bigger machine, the bigger wreck. Jacob Metcalf, how are you doing? Southern Dirt 95 says it's crazy. I went to ATS in Wisconsin to get my certification, never used it. Maxwell Hauser, Ron Pratt responds. He said, Talon is in a video he's working on, should be up in a week or two. Scott Dominguez says, Jimmy, I'm a truck driver of over 30 years and I've always admired the huge cranes I pass going down the highway. When I grew up, I want to be like you. I don't know if you'd want to be like me. I'm 42 and I feel my age every day. All the stuff that I've done as far as with heavy equipment and working on it and whatnot, it's hard on a fella. Tom Lee, I don't know what happened with the rear steer on that. I don't know if something malfunctioned or what, but it just steered itself off in the ditch. Skidder Kev, how are you doing? He says, it says, Jimmy, hey, Jimmy, bummer you had to take the video down. I have a gem of a video that would do awesome, but unable to use it. And I guess that's the life of a YouTuber is sometimes you get some awesome stuff and you're like, man, I would really love to throw that out there. And, you can't. Ron Pratt, thanks for that. He said, Jimmy, got to roll out, my friend. You've got my number. If you need me, I'm always available. Ron, I truly appreciate that. And just that statement alone speaks volumes about Ron. He's a busy guy, works 24/7, has a huge YouTube channel that he's constantly working on, and just blatantly told me, hey, if you need something, you call me. And at any time. So, Ron, many thanks for that, my friend. The narrator, our 130 usually requires a support truck for full counterweight. For our 200 ton, we need 2 and sometimes 3 trucks for full dressed. Dean Stockwell says, young buck. Nathaniel Lee, okay, I thought you got I didn't get a new crane. At some point, I would like to own my own crane because then I can do whatever I want. Josh Wellner, try being a lobsterman. I'm 38 and feeling it. It is what it is. It is. We chose our career. So, Jennifer Murtha Stevens says, call me about access for the Christmas giveaway. Do you need my number again? I think I've still got it. And I'm friends with you on Facebook. So I'll reach out to you on there and we can work together on that. And I greatly appreciate it. Last year, that axe was awesome. And I think we'll probably do that and add some to it. If you don't mind sending me another one. And I'll pay freight, and actually I'd buy it from you to be able to do a silent auction. I don't want you to just giving your inventory away. Jennifer Saunders asked, what current big construction works happening in the USA today and about cranes being used today in the United States of America? There's a lot of big jobs with big cranes. There's one down in Texas, Nevada. Well, I guess about everywhere you look in the United States, there's a crane, it seems like. Maybe I see them more than most because that's what I do, but there's a lot of cranes in the United States. Southern Dirt 95, I get to ADD to operate cranes. So assembly, disassembly director. Russell McKnight, Ron, he said, Ron seems to be a great guy. Ron is a great guy. Jennifer Murtha Stevens, thanks for that. She says, not an issue. We will work with you. Scott Dominguez says, I'd love to see the giant crawler cranes that Mammut has. And Mammut has some huge cranes. And I don't know why they don't get just millions of views on their YouTube channel. It blows my mind. None of your business. That's a fact. Says construction in the United States is at an all-time high. It's a good time to be in the trades. Norm Bar. So what would that cost getting to have your own crane? Depends on if I bought new or used, and it depends on what I bought. And then the insurance alone is pretty much cost prohibitive to most anybody. I would need a significant number of investors. But I'm guessing to get started in the crane world, if you started with a boom truck, you could probably get by with, a couple 100,000, maybe 300,000. To jump into a big hydro, you better have about $1 million put back, $1.5 million, and that's buying an old used one. Tyson Dykes, how are you doing, Tyson? Says, hola, my friend, currently watching you from the seat of his tower crane. And Tyson is a tower crane operator he's got a page on Instagram that he posts a lot of tower crane pictures on. But he's a tower crane operator out in the West Coast. Josh Wellner, have a good evening. Says you got to go. He'll be back. Nathaniel Lee says, what is the crazy thing that happened to me? What? Elaborate on that, Nathaniel Lee. The narrator, Lieber 1042.1 is 125. That's got to be pounds as in across the pond money. John Leininger, you can make a crane out of PVC, but to get one that does something fun, it costs more money than a lot of us have. Jennifer Saunders, do you any merchandise to the like cranes behind? Do you search on eBay from Australia? You can get these on eBay, or you can get them like these are Tadano die casts. You can get them directly from Tadano. But eBay has a lot of die-cast cranes on it. Oh, the narrator, 125,000. Southern Dirt 95 says, I'm booked 6 months with dirt work. Check out my channel when you get a chance. My channel was Spradlin Excavation. Had to change the name because of crazy people. I understand that. Alex Williamson's Blind Adventure says there are 2 cranes about 5 minutes away from my house right now working on a new control tower for the airport. Oh, Nathaniel Lee says, like with wind. So the craziest thing that's ever happened to me, probably the most frightening experience I've had in a crane was when I was building a cell phone tower and I had 246 feet of tip height. So I had 197 feet of main boom and 43 feet of swing away jib. And then by the time you factor in the carrier and whatnot, I had about 246 feet of tip height and got hit out of nowhere in the side with a 44 mile an hour wind. That will definitely get your attention. Kyle Bass, what's the benefit of taxi crane versus oil field crane? Taxi crane, like crane rental, as I call it, but it's taxi crane or service crane work, is constantly changing. So I might go take a tree down one day, set an air conditioning unit the next day, and build a cell phone tower the following day. Or just like tomorrow, I've got to work tomorrow, which sucks because it's Saturday, but I've got to go in. We've got to fully dress the 200 ton, put full counterweight on it, swing the jib, and I got to make some picks at a 223 foot radius. And then we got to tear the crane down and go to another facility, hang 2 counterweights, and pick a 10,000 pound piece in the blind at an 83 foot radius. So, with taxi crane work, it's always changing. Jennifer Saunders asks, have I ever installed a wind turbine? I have worked on 3 wind farms, but I haven't ever I've set wind turbine bases, but I haven't stacked out a full wind turbine. but I've been involved in every step of the process, from pouring the concrete foundations to putting the rebar in the holes to, offload the parts at the sites to, some assembly work. Scott Dominguez says, how far are you from Ron Pratt? I have met him. Very nice guy, very down to earth, nice to talk to. I'm about 6 hours away from Ron. And last July, we had planned on meeting up with Ron and his family for dinner. And when we got to Memphis, our hotel was the hotel that we booked wasn't very good. And most rooms were pretty much booked that weekend. So we drove straight from, where were we at? New Smyrna Beach, Florida, to an hour north of Kansas City. We stopped at Memphis, checked out our hotel. We're like, and just kept on trucking. It was like 23 hours driving straight through. But our plan was we were going to stop in Memphis overnight and then meet up with Ron the next day and have lunch with he and his family. And that didn't work out. But I will road trip to Ron's at some point and hang out with him for a day. Southern Dirt 95, I took my lattice crane test with 20-mile-per-hour wind gusts and still passed somehow. That's pretty impressive. At 25-mile-an-hour constant wind, you can kind of adjust to that, or 20-mile-an-hour. But 20-mile-an-hour gusts, that would suck for taking your crane test. Red Army says, hello to the top. Before you landed your current job, did you have crane experience beforehand? I did have. And I have a lot of heavy equipment experience. Daniel Hilton, that's a good question. Says, do you ever have to deal with the FAA or file anything at full boom? No, and we've got a regional airport fairly close by, and it's also a National Guard base. And if I've got to run like full tip height, especially if I'm working at night, I put an FAA light on the end of the jib or on the end of the boom. Or if I'm working close to the base, I'll call the tower and let them know where I'm going to be and how much boom I'm going to have up so they can let their pilots know. William says, if you could line up hoisting for a good-sized construction project, you could lease maybe a crane. I could, but I don't know that I want that much responsibility. I've got a lot of responsibility sitting in the seat, and then there's also a lot of responsibility being an owner. Not only is there the responsibility of the insurance requirements and all of that, but there's also the responsibility of making sure that crane doesn't eat your lunch. None of your business. The Tadano is tall enough to reach the top of a nacelle on a wind turbine, but it doesn't have enough capacity up there to do anything with a turbine. I could pull the top fiberglass cover off the nacelle, and that's it. Jason Helsley, I want to see you pick up. Jason wants to see me pick up Ron's rotator, and the crane's more than capable about that, or more than capable of doing that. But I'm not going to drive the crane. It's 6 hours by car to Ron's place. It would probably be about 11 by crane, and it would cost me a fortune in fuel. Larry Shed, no apology necessary on that. Nathaniel Lee, what is the fun things about a crane? One is you can close the door and you're kind of in your own little space. And it's challenging. It's a career that's very challenging, especially in crane rental, because like I said earlier, with everything being different, the job sites are constantly different. It just seems like every day it's something different. So while it's still crane work, it's challenging. And that's what I enjoy about it is the daily challenge of it. YouTube, that's a good question. He says, is there any market in your area for small remote controlled electric cranes that can be used inside buildings and tight access? There is occasionally. We've got a little 4-ton Broderson, which is tiny. if a truck could handle the weight, it would almost fit in the back of a long bed pickup bed. Actually, dimensionally, it is smaller than the bed of a long bed pickup bed. But we don't use it a lot, so it's not one of those things that a person would probably want to rush right out and buy one. Leasing that kind of thing would definitely be the way to go. John Leininger says most ATIS recordings for pilots say cranes and birds in the area. Scott Dominguez says, if you can't afford a crane, maybe you could do a crane school. In your videos, you explain things very well. Well, thanks for the compliment on that. And I try to teach within reason on here. Teaching in itself actually opens up some liability. So a lot of times if I'm explaining something, I'll throw it out there that, what works for me may not work for you. Cindy Tepper, how are you doing? She makes a great point. Getting paid is sometimes a nightmare as an owner. And I could see that. Oh, Tyson Dykes, I did see that article about the crane in Seattle. It says, talk about liability. Check out the Seattle Times article about the results of the investigation over the recent tower collapse. That should tell you all you need to know about the responsibilities. Nope. And just like AVE and I both said in the videos, what they determined was the issue on that Seattle crane collapse. The narrator, fun thing about a crane is being dry when everyone else is wet. It does have its perks, having a little glass box around you. Red Army says, have you ever had a lift that you could not safely do due to ground conditions? Yes, we have. And if ground conditions are such that they won't hold the crane, then they either prepare the ground to hold the crane or, like say it's too muddy. Then we just wait. So, well, this guy's gone. Had some guy come on here just start spewing a bunch of crap. Jennifer Saunders says, when coming to work site, do you have safety induction of the site do's and don'ts? It depends on the job site. A lot of the places we go, like we support a lot of industrial clients. So a lot of the places we go, we're in and out of there all the time. So it would be very redundant for us to go through like a safety and orientation each time we go in. But a lot of construction sites, we definitely have to go through their site orientation. Nathaniel Lee says, I'm 18 years old, and when I move out of my mom and dad's home, I'd like to come work for you, Jimmy. I don't know where you're located. I'd say nothing's out of the realm of possibility. The narrator at Red Army, tell the people who hired us we're not lifting till they fix the ground. At least that's a fact. Their site has to be capable of supporting the crane and the loads put on the ground. John Clifton is also correct. Says, as a crane operator, you have the final say on if you lift or not. That is correct. Oh, that'd be bad. Cindy Tepper said a friend of mine found an unknown underground structure with a 50-ton center mount, made junk out of it. That would be a scary ride. Tyson Dykes says, radio's going nuts. Got to run. Catch up with you later, Jimmy. Can't wait to sport your stickers, buddy. I'll post pics. Be safe out there, my friend. Tyson's sitting up in that tower crane. I think he's absolutely crazy, but he enjoys it. Nathaniel Lee's in Arkansas. I'm an hour north of Kansas City. Oh, Red Army said I had a lift yesterday where I had the boom out fully extended and the ground had gave way at least 12 inches under my outrigger and buried itself. I called my supervisor and was told to continue. No, The narrator, you can't use that word on here, buddy. You have to keep it family friendly, my friend. So, getting back to who said that? Red Army, yeah. Red Army, if your outrigger is burying itself, you need to correct that problem before anything else happens. At that point, your crane setup is not right. And if your crane setup isn't correct, everything you do from that point is not right. So if you're losing an outrigger because of soil conditions, that means that you're in a position that you're unstable. And that is a very easy way to put the dirty side up. So I would honestly, if I called my boss and told him, hey, this ground's not supporting me. Actually, I had a job not too long ago, and it was for one of our own superintendents. I had to set some roof sheets up on a building, and we were booming down and setting some roof sheets. We were at about 170-foot radius, and my outrigger started sinking. At that point, I set the load right where it was, boomed up, and no more picks out to 170 feet. So that is your responsibility sitting in the seat, is to be able to tell those people no. It's a lot easier to correct the problem before the crane tips over. The narrator, you're fine. No worries. He says, very sorry. Jennifer Saunders, what's the highest and heaviest load ever lifted? The highest is topping out a cell tower, 300 and that cell phone tower topped out at 310 feet. I had a total tip height at 330. The heaviest, I've set some pieces that were 10,000 pounds, about 185 feet up, 190 feet up. Gore Japan, let's see, he says, how you fix the problem to lift 150 ton with a 150 ton crane, keeping the boom low? Not sure what you're asking. Are you talking about picking up 150 tons with a low boom angle? Because it's not possible. If you got a 150 ton load and you've got a 150 ton capacity crane, that boom's going to have to be basically completely retracted and boomed up probably close to 80 degrees. Nathaniel Lee, I do live in Missouri. Drew Bradley says, is ever required to do some sort of ground x-ray before setup? We haven't had to do that here. I've heard of people using ground penetrating radar, and I don't think that's necessarily a bad idea. Ground penetrating radar can definitely tell you if there's stuff that you need to avoid. And it's technology that is pretty readily available now. Scott Dominguez, that's a fact. Says if he's not set up right, he will be another Seattle statistic. Cindy Tepper, that is also a fact. So in the cities and lots of older industrial sites, there's lots of underground that isn't documented. And I mean, some places it is hard to tell. I mean, everything we do in the crane world, actually everything we do in life, has a calculated risk involved. The key is having enough knowledge and common sense to try to mitigate those risks and make them less. But there are cases where the unknown happens. You know, you set up, say I was setting a house, and my first question when I pull into a house job, where's the septic tank? Because the last thing I want to do is put an outrigger on a septic tank. But who's to say someone didn't have a well that was filled in 90 years ago and no one knows about it, and then I put an outrigger on it and it disappears into the well? I mean, some of that stuff you can't plan for unless you had ground penetrating radar done. The narrator, he said, generally kick my heel into the ground or I look over the ground, and if it's been rutted up by other plant, I know it's not good for no good for the crane. There's certain tests you can do. You can do soil compaction tests and stuff like that, but really it comes with experience. You can look at most places and determine, hey, that's not someplace I want to put the crane. If it holds water, typically it's going to be too soft. If it's loose and loamy black dirt, then you're going to get ground compression. I mean, it's just the way it is. Jennifer Saunders says, do you take your own rigger for lifting jobs? Sometimes. None of your business. If a crane operator continues at someone else's direction when working unsafe, they aren't very wise, in my opinion. That is his operator card and his livelihood and his career on the line. That is a fact. Nathaniel Lee, I have talked some with Let's Dig 18. Chris is a good dude, heck of an operator, and I've talked. It's been quite a while back. I actually made some magnet mounts for him and sent them to him last year sometime. It was shortly after I started my channel, but yeah, I've conversed some with Let's Dig. Core Japan says, all right, 80 and why all the way up? Is it all the way up not more dangerous because of the height and also the telescoping parts start bending or shifting? What I meant by all the way up is fully retracted and boomed all the way up. So if you take either one of those die-cast models and retract all the telescoping sections in them and boom just the base boom up with the tip right at the end of the base boom, that is the strongest it's ever going to be. Art Walter, so good evening, Jimmy. I'm surprised to see you on now. I'm surprised to see me on now. W Pro 3, what's the big announcement? Talked about earlier. I had to take a video down. It was one that it was my best performing video of all time on this channel. But it is what it is. Jason Helsley, a hard surface is your best friend in the crane world. Anybody that's watching this live stream or watches this channel and is a crane operator can attest 12 inches of concrete poured in a very flat fashion is our best friend. Core Japan asks, now just another question. If the hooker, I guess it's called the rigger or signal person, tells you to cable up, but you don't think everything is all right, you just don't. No, I will refuse to pick if I don't think the pick's right. William says, had some sites where the ground was like gumbo, but the crane mats took care of it. Did have to tow the crane out with the excavator. And if you have big enough mats, I mean, you can spread some weight out pretty easily with some big crane mats. W Pro 3, I had to take it down at the customer's request. Josh Wellner's back. Cindy Tepper said back around 1990, we set up Big Blue to make a lift in BP. Took months to lay down all the mats. Yeah, some of those big cranes, it takes an insane amount of mats to build a dance floor for them. Oh, Drew Bradley, thanks for that, sir. This is McRib on me or a beer. I'm more of a whiskey fan myself, but none tonight since I have to work tomorrow. My rule is no alcohol at all within 24 hours of getting in the seat of a crane. Let's see. Oh, I hear my dog coming. Scott Dominguez. In the trucking industry, dispatchers will push and push until you get into trouble, then hang you out to dry. It's the same way in the crane industry. Oh, hi, honey.
Hi.
Home from work? You want to come say hi to everybody or no? That's a big no. Gus is over here, though. Come here, Gus. Let's put Gus on camera.
Where's your camera?
It's right there. You're going to be in it, right? There's
Okay.
your hand.
Come here, Gus. Come here. Gus. Come here.
Tom asked what. I missed a bunch of comments, I'm sure, but
Come here.
Jason Heltsley, you can get 2 McRibs for that. That's good because I eat 2 McRibs when I get them.
Gus, come here, buddy.
Josh Wellner says hi.
Hey. Come here, Gus. You won't come over here because you're a case. Come here, Gus.
So my live streams have been hijacked by my dog and my wife.
Come on.
Come here, Gus.
Come here, buddy.
You're going to have to just drag him over here. Everybody can see your head popping up there, honey. Just
Hi, Gus.
my wife's camera shy.
Good.
Jason Heltsley says hello. You're just going to sit there and stare at me, aren't you? You're in the
There,
picture.
see,
again.
I know you can see my hair. Now I'm in it.
Oh, whatever. None of your business. Mrs. to the top is a nurse practitioner.
What's it say?
Isn't Mrs. to the top a PA?
Oh, Maddie and I just had a very long discussion about
No
the difference.
politics.
Nope. We just, okay, yep. I am a nurse practitioner.
Honey, why don't you, they can see your
very-
eyes.
A very proud.
Why don't you just get up here? If you're gonna be down here talking, you just as well get up here. I'll share the seat with you.
No, that's okay.
They could see your eyes, honey.
No, they can't.
They could. King 2042, wouldn't it make more sense to make parts smaller, lighter than spend months setting up for a big crane? Sometimes you can't make stuff smaller and lighter. Oh, that guy's gone.
Why did he say something mean?
Yeah, he was being racist, and we don't allow that here. Red Army says, I don't know about you guys, but one thing that annoys me is when I set up for a job and all of a sudden the whole town comes out to watch lifts. Is it just me? It does happen, especially if you're in a small town. Cindy Tepper, do you do any rentals to neuter out of St. Louis? I've never worked with them. John Leininger, leave it to Jimmy to pick up a keeper. New boy, hello. None of your business. All right. Don't get political. Honey, you're going to have to just sit up here. Come on, get up here.
No, I'm.
No, come on, get up here.
I'm right here.
No, honey, you're sitting on the floor.
Yeah, I know. They can see me. I'm good.
I don't want you to sit on the floor.
It's okay. I'm good.
Whatever. So don't get political. None of your business. Ask the difference between an NP and a PA.
The difference between us is the amount of education that we have and what we can do without oversight.
That was pretty basic. Let's see. BFU Railroad. Have I ever picked up a locomotive? I picked up one end of a locomotive. Jason Heltsley, I was getting ready to do that. I think Jason Heltsley was getting ready to snag that guy that I banned. Nathaniel Lee says hi. Honey, you ought to just go get a chair. John Myers, we do have random drug and alcohol tests in the United States. Red Army, awesome wife. She seems great, but what kind of dog do you have? We have 2 American Staffordshire Terriers. You want to go see if you can get Hope to come down?
I hope will come down. Because she's mine.
Cindy Tepper. She could poison you and get away with it. She could. Cord Javin says, what's the best advice you can give and how do you react to people standing or walking under the load? And your wife has beautiful. Well, thanks. I'm sure she says thanks for that.
There she is.
All right, come here, Hope.
Come here, boys. Hope.
Let's see if we can get him up here. Come here, Hope.
Hope will.
Come here. Oh. This is Hope. She's our 10-year-old female that is not liking sitting on my lap.
Hi, baby. Oh, come here, good guy.
Josh Wellner says for me to give my chair to her. She won't sit in it.
Oh, no, I'm good.
She won't. She doesn't like cameras. She hates it. Gus, come here, Gus. Go try to grab him by his collar. Drag him over. Okay, so back to Core Japan's question. It says, what's the best advice you can give, and how do you react to people standing or walking under a load? I don't allow people to stand or walk under a load. If they do it without me catching them going for it, then they get a very stern talking to. None of your business. The dogs look malnourished.
Yeah.
Yeah, she is far from malnourished. Terry P says people don't understand operator has last say. We do, in fact. BFU Railroad. It was a yard switch engine, so one end was 93,000, I think.
Come here.
They derailed it on a switch.
Come here. Come here, poopy girl.
Cord Japan says wife wants cystitis sitting on the ground. What? He says wife wants cystitis sitting on the ground. I'm assuming that.
I'm going to have cystitis.
Yeah, I don't know.
No, I'll be okay. I don't think I can get a UTI this way.
Drew Bradley says that's a good color coat. Was she a rescue? My lady just rescued a pit bull, and she's such a wonderful puppy. She was not a rescue. Our other dog was a rescue. Gus was. See if you can get Gus to come in here, honey. Now my daughter's down here.
I thought you said somebody was arrested.
No.
Come here.
Larry Shedd, your state has quality people. Ron Pratt, Brandon Johnson, and you. Brandon's a good dude. Ron's a good guy. Yeah. Oh, here comes Gus.
There he is.
He's all.
He's not digging that.
Because I'm picking him up.
He has a nervous collar because he still gets kind of nervous sometimes.
Well, Poopa wants in there now.
Oh, sorry. I was gonna put his feet on her leg.
You gonna go get the cat and just make it the full circus? You
I don't
gonna
know
jump
where
in
he
and say
went.
hi?
Hello.
So that's my 18-year-old daughter. That's Maddie. None of your business. Family live stream. It's only happened one other time, and it was 6 hours long.
Yes, hi Gus. I know. He's excited now.
I know he is. Oh, I know. Oh, Gus.
You're getting him all excited.
Did you bring Poopa over here?
She did.
Core Japan, he says, well, if people walk under my load, even on an excavator, I don't talk, I shout.
Oh.
I have been known to yell out the door a time or two. William says nurses have bladders like camels. So do crane operators.
Yes, we do.
Oh, Cord Japan says you all have beautiful eyes. By the way, greetings from the Netherlands. Well, greetings from Missouri in the United States.
here.
Larry said Brandon and I talk a couple times a week. Brandon stays very busy.
She won't go.
Drew Bradley is both of our dogs are what they call blue, but they're gray. They're gray in color, but it's called blue.
Gus is seal.
And Gus is actually, he's kind of a seal. He's pretty dark for blue, but none of your business. I remember the marathon stream.
Yeah, I am. Just seeing who else in the chat.
Oh, there's 78 people watching.
Oh my gosh. 79 actually.
79 now. David Rigoni says group photo time. King 2042. Break out the barbecue and beer. Let's all party.
My eye looks really blue.
That's fantastic, honey. John Leininger, I do have a horn in the crane. Jason Helsley, so do EMTs and paramedics. Yeah, with the bladder
Yes.
thing, that's a fact. Alex Williamson's Blind Adventure says, hi, Maddie.
Hello. Spelled my name wrong, but thanks anyway.
Honey, he's blind.
Huh?
He's blind.
Oh my gosh. I'm so sorry. Oh my gosh. It's just everybody spells my name wrong. I feel so bad. Oh no. I better not do these things anymore. Is he on the line?
Yes.
Oh my gosh. I'm so sorry. I'm leaving.
She's out.
Be careful. Okay.
Where are you going?
Huh? The bowling alley.
Are you going to hang out with your boyfriend?
Yeah.
Make good choices.
I generally do, yes. I feel really bad about that guy.
Honey, it'll be fine. Alex is not going to hold it against you.
Please tell him I apologize profusely.
I think he just heard you. Wow, let's talk about coming off the rails. We went clear off the rails.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, now here comes the cat.
Kitty.
Honey, really? We don't need all of that.
Come here, fat. Come here, fat.
I found him. He's
There.
drooling though.
I'm.
Oh, it's fat.
Honey, you can get rid of the cat now
Oh, look.
before you say something else that's going to offend
I'm
somebody.
sorry.
I'm just giving you a hard time.
I'm not usually on the internet like this.
Oh boy. Alex Williamson's adventure says no, don't leave.
Don't leave. I gotta go. I'm going to Taco Bell first.
You're going to Taco Bell?
I think.
Well, enjoy that on the way out.
Huh? On the way out.
means he means
Well,
it's gonna make you
oh.
poop.
Taco
Yeah.
Bell doesn't do that to me.
Well, so I completely lost everybody's comments here. So, Red Army, awesome family. Thanks for that. The only thing we're missing is my son. He's at a football game with his buddies.
Oh no, that's gonna be.
No, I think he's just lost.
Are you sure? Take him back upstairs so he doesn't get lost.
It's okay.
Timothy Barney, at least you have the crane to lift it back on the rails. Core Japan asks, by the way, seeing you have glasses, how is that with being a crane operator? It took quite a while to adjust to them. My depth perception was off by about 4 feet. And it's considerably better, but there's still times that I kind of struggle with getting the hook directly over a load. Typically I'm within 6 inches to a foot if it's 100 feet away, but at first it's a challenge. Paul Woner says, sorry, Jimmy, got to bail. Wifey wants to look at a castle in Oakham tomorrow. Where is that at? Because my wife's all about going to a castle. She wants to go to
Scotland.
BFU Railroad, what would the cat say if you picked him up with a crane? I don't know.
Oh, he has dementia.
King 2042, how does a cat get lost inside a house? Our cat's,
He has dementia.
he's old. I think, what is he, 15?
hmm
15 years old?
He doesn't remember what room he's in sometimes.
Alex Williamson's Blind Adventures, I guess it's spelled Maddie. Nathaniel Lee. Oh, no, it's a cat. I have a cat myself. In the Netherlands, glasses means no crane operator. Wow.
Mm.
If I had to do that, I guess I'd go back to contacts. The only thing with me and he's in Oakham, is in the UK.
Oh.
The only thing with me and contacts is I typically forget to take them out, or I just get lazy and go to sleep with them in. So I end up leaving them in for like 3 days, which I hear is not good for your eyes.
See, we need to go to Scotland.
He said Scotland is a fun place, I'd imagine.
No, go up.
Where?
Right, no, down. There. Next one down.
Oh, Scotland, not far from
Netherlands.
Just come and say hi. I'm not opposed to it. I've never been outside the United States other than going to Canada once when we were a kid, and that was at Niagara Falls. So we walked to Canada. It was basically the United States. And none of your business. The cat has dementia. Never heard of that, but I guess it's plausible. He's not the same cat that he was 10 years ago. I'm not sure he's all there. William said, help you draw a crowd, but got a bail. Will be work my way through your videos. Be safe and don't let anybody call you 2-block Jimmy. That's not going to happen. My anti-2-block switch works very well. Thanks for stopping in and being part of it all. I don't know how many new subscribers we've got watching right now. We picked up a lot this past week. PFU Railroad, did you meet Jamie Davis in Canada? I don't know who that is. Drew Bradley, I've been to 27 countries. 2 of those I don't remember. How do you not remember being there? Red Army's in Chicago. His father was a tower crane operator. Yeah, I don't do the whole tower crane thing. Core Japan says glasses or lenses. Eye condition means lots of medical testings or no operator. He's a truck driver. New sub. Thanks for joining in. I would have to get LASIK then. I would do something to correct my eyesight. I'm not going to give up operating a crane just because my eyes don't focus like they used to.
Mhm.
Art Walter's got a cat that's 19 years old.
Wow.
Had Red Army, I don't operate tower cranes. Didn't lose nothing up there. Got no reason to be up there. Alex says, just tell her the blind guy wasn't offended at all. Instead, he would rather just be friends with her. Tom. My son is not a quarterback. He doesn't play football. He's just observing.
He's a ninja.
Yeah, sports aren't his. Basketball, he loves basketball. But anything other than basketball, he's not really big into. Kevin, I'm not sure how to pronounce your last name. Roche says I'm a crane operator in DC running large hydros. John Leniger, too late. Crane 2 block in your video is the first hit. Really? If I Google crane 2 block, my video is the first one to come up? That's no good. Oh, Paul Moore says Jamie Davis owns a tow company. I don't think Highway Through Hell was anything in existence when I think when we went to Niagara Falls, I was about 8 years old. Oh, Kevin says my brother-in-law got laser eye surgery and has never regretted it since. I've heard that LASIK is only good for a certain amount of time. Oh, Drew Bradley. He was on a medical transport from Germany to somewhere. His helmet had a love tap with something buried under the ground. I had no idea. Well, thanks for your service, Drew. None of your business is Jimmy's serious question. Could you move? Let's show that. I don't know why it hid that from Red Army, but it's a serious question. Could you move from the field to office work? I've been approached about a project manager job, but now I'm a site superintendent and just don't know if I could switch. You couldn't put me behind a desk. The only time I get behind a desk is when I'm researching load charts and working on my range diagram. I'm not one of those people that's fit for inside work. Null Tech, how are you doing, Null Tech? Red Army says, keep up the great YouTube channel. I'm sure many appreciate your videos. Drew Bradley makes an excellent point. Says, when we hit the thumbs up, that helps place this channel in the recommended list. Thanks for bringing that up, Drew. And it really does. I mean, if you guys thumbs up videos and share them and stuff, it really does promote the channel quite a bit. Huh. Kevin says he got it done 6 years ago, so had no degradation in his eyesight. Terry Schaefer says nurses are rock stars.
Yay.
Honey,
Go
really,
nurses. No, I got to get up there with the dogs. Now you left. What do you want for dinner?
I don't care. What do you want for dinner?
No, it's just you and I.
There's 81 people watching. What should we have for dinner? Because whenever we will go back and forth, and I'm sure every married couple's like that. We will go back and forth for 45 minutes or an hour trying to decide what to have for dinner. Huh? Mac and cheese, spaghetti, steak, Chinese food, lasagna.
I'd go for steak. You gonna cook?
Are you gonna go get some steaks?
Rice with chicken and beans.
Oh, Drew Bradley.
You already had that.
We had that last week.
No, it was this week.
McRib, they're only out for a few months, honey. You got to eat them while you can.
My cramps.
I think Drew Bradley needs to come to Missouri. He and I could probably hang out. And he'll take some of Dad's barbecue.
It's like the Chipotle of pizza. I'm not picky.
So we got a crane question in there. I'm sure I missed a bunch up here too. Says Mr. Jimmy, how are they going to bring down those New Orleans tower cranes when both are still sitting over the damaged building? They're going to blast them down with explosives. Billy Laptop, thanks for that, my friend. That man, you just did that last Sunday. I appreciate it greatly. Let's see. King 2042, nothing like a guy, nothing like watching a guy beg for McRib. Jennifer Saunders, thank you for that. What did I miss? Kevin said that's a good question, Bruce. Oh, yeah. So I answered that. Yeah, they're going to bring it down with explosives. They're going to blast it down. Mr. Random says, why are most cranes just symbols that don't seem to match the normal ones on most equipment? Is it just a Euro thing? I'm not sure. Drew Bradley says, at Billy Laptop. Yes, well done. American Travel Journal, you got to eat them while you can. Best quote of the night. And Billy Laptop, I really hope you come back to this area at some point and email me before you do, so we can go have dinner somewhere. Or if you just want to come here, I'll fix you dinner. Jennifer Saunders was going about the cranes at the Hard Rock Cafe. They were building a hotel, and the Hard Rock Hotel they were building collapsed, and now the cranes, the two tower cranes, are kind of stuck there in limbo amongst a bunch of rubble. None your business. The tower crane operator is working, so Tyson Dykes is he's tuned out for the night, and he's running this tower crane. You can find him on Instagram, though. You could probably ask him that question on Instagram. Kevin Roche, biggest crane I've played in was not actually done anything really productive, but 2250. I don't dive much into the crawler world because I haven't been around it much. I've worked in crane rental a lot, and most of the crane rental around here is hydros. AZ Wrench Master just wanted to say hi. I watch, but typically don't say a whole lot. Oh, and just have your daughter bring back Taco Bell so you and your wife can kick back instead of cooking. She's going to be gone for a while, so by the time she brought me Taco Bell back, I'd probably be in bed. Alex Williamson's Blind Adventure said, I just wish plane tickets weren't so expensive or I'd fly out and see you. I'd have you. I'd put you up for the night. The narrator, on the tower crane. So I guess the problem is they can't dismantle them safely, so they need to get deaded. That's what the deal is. They're in amongst all that rubble at that Hard Rock Hotel job, and so the way they're going to bring them down is they're going to blast them down. And realistically, given everything that's happened on that site, that is probably the safest way to approach it. Drew Bradley, I do not have temp sensors in the axles for gear temp. Kevin Roche, so that's what I'm in. So you're running a 2250. Those are great machines. I mean, talk about a versatile crawler. I mean, logistically, they still take quite a bit to move around, and I don't know the full capabilities of a 2250. I know it's a 300 or 350 ton lattice boom, but lattice boom cranes are one of those things I just haven't been involved with much. Probably because I've been in crane rental most of my crane career. And, unless you got a job site to put a lattice boom on, they're kind of a pain to move around. Oh, okay. Kevin Roach says, no, I'm in rental is what I meant, but I've run them before. Core Japan DMAG AC 700. None of business. Citadel Construction is the GC on the job in New Orleans. I hope their builder's risk insurance is current. That's no kidding. The narrator question, is it possible, easy for UK operators to come to work in the United States? So the thing with cranes is the knowledge you have with cranes will work in other countries. I mean, cranes are cranes. Now, I say that maybe not definitively because there are some people sitting in cranes that don't possess a lot of knowledge. And as a result, there's a lot of videos out there of crane mishaps. But if you're a successful and competent crane operator, I would say you could work about anywhere in the world. Now, you just have to undergo whatever testing is necessary for that particular area. And I've always said a good crane operator will never have a problem keeping their seat or finding one. Drew Bradley says, is there a next crane purchase in the company's future? There's been talk about it. I don't know what has transpired with it. They've been talking about making a few changes on some of our cranes on the smaller end. Nothing with the big cranes. Kevin says we have all those data centers in Ashburn, Virginia that have been going up for 12 years and still ongoing. There's hundreds of crawlers still there setting precast. That's a lot. John Leininger says, amen. Same with us truckers. And that's a fact. And realistically, in today's world, if you have a skill or a trade that you can market, I mean, you can work anywhere. Core Japan, by the way, crane operators in the U.S. do use metrics. We use American tons and American pounds and American feet. Kevin Roach, I don't think we'll ever own any Lee Bears, and the reason being is the company I work for, we have had very good luck with Tadano's, and Tadano customer support has been very good, and so the mindset and mentality of our upper management is, hey, if it's not broke, don't fix it. So anytime we would buy a large hydro, it's going to be a Tadano, and then on the smaller end of things, it's hard to say. I know one of the things that they were kicking around, and I don't know if it was wishful thinking or what, but Tadano makes a pretty neat little city crane, and rumor is we may need to have one of those, but we'll see if it ever comes to fruition. Drew Bradley, there absolutely is such a thing as a company having too big of a crane as per keeping it busy and cost effectiveness. Your cranes have to be sized for the area that you're working in, and also based on your competition. So we're fairly close to Kansas City, and there's several big crane outfits in Kansas City that have, like, there's one that has a 550-ton Grove. It seems that right now about the biggest rig within 150 miles or so is about a 550-ton in the crane rental side of things. So if we were to buy a 550-ton crane, then we would immediately be competing for that work with the company that's in Kansas City. that being said, there's not that much market in our area for a crane that size. In our immediate local area, our 200 handles 99.9% of anything that we would have to do in this area. Like our tallest building is, in our immediate area is about 200 feet. I can reach that. Good old boy. Yep, there you nail it with Blue Hat. Kevin Roche 7550 Grove is junk but easy to put together. Daler NBA, hello from Morocco. Hello from United States. Core Japan. I'm not that familiar with the DMAG AC 700, so I can't give you an honest opinion of it. Narrator, our 130 is fairly quiet most of the time because we've got 2 or 3 major crane companies that have depots in my city and they can do larger jobs. Yeah, we've got really, I think we've got about the perfect mix for our area. And what I mean by that is we've got a 4-ton Broderson, which is tiny. You can get into small places. We've got we've got an 8-ton Broderson and an 8.5-ton Broderson. And then we've got a stand-up boom truck, which is it's actually a 28-ton. And then we've got 2 Manitex 50 128s. And then we've got the Tadano 80-4, which is a 100-ton U.S. capacity. And then we've got the Tadano ATF 180G-5, which is a 200-ton capacity. So for our area, we've got a very good mix of cranes. So we can handle most anything. I don't think we've had to give work away, maybe 1 or 2 jobs over the last 2 or 3 years. Kevin says, New Grove's here, too many electrical problems with the new CCS systems. I'm not familiar with the new system. RJ Key, hi, that video brought me here and I'm staying. Very interesting. Well, thanks for that. Yes, dear. That's fine. You can do Chipotle or pizza or whatever. No, I don't have a preference. I didn't get this physique by being picky about food, honey. Red Army, do you ever feel anxiety during lifts? I absolutely do. I'm one of those people that believes that if you don't feel some sort of stress during max picks and really putting the crane through its paces, then you're probably a person that's getting complacent and needs to think about something different, like a different career. Now, when you stretch a crane way out and you put it at its very limit, if that's not nerve-wracking, it's time to do something different. Kevin, to chime in, digging and rigging has an 850-ton mobile crane that goes out once every 2 years. But I bet it goes out for a fortune. Smedco, how are you doing? Terry P said that the crane is only as good as the operator. And that's a fact. But there are some cranes out there that'll make kind of a bad operator seem like a pretty decent one. But there's so much more that goes into cranes than what people realize. And when I first got into the crane world, it was kind of overwhelming, everything that goes into it. It kind of follows the old saying that you got to eat the cow one bite at a time. I mean, there's a lot of information to retain, and so yeah, there's a lot that goes into becoming a crane operator. And I should probably do a video, just sit down and do a video one day of just how it transpires from start to finish. Kevin says we have the 110 Tadano in your videos. Taught my coworker how to swing the jib. we put a binder on the boom like you guys did, and it really smoothed the process. It definitely helps. Terry P, that is also a fact. Is if you don't know your machine, don't max it out. Well, Kevin, I'm glad the videos helped, and I've had several people say that some of the stuff that I've posted on here has helped them out with things. And realistically, that's kind of what I'm all about. I'm one of those people that I want to help people better themselves if they're willing to do so, and also just help them with their jobs. Or I've had people, actually Blue Line Landworks sent me a text. He said, I know you're good with hydraulics and this is what I'm wanting to do. Can you figure this out? And I sat down and did some calculations for him, and he wanted to know what it would take to, well, actually I'll pull the text up. It's been a while back, but let me find it. He said, hey, Jimmy, I know you know a lot about hydraulics. Do you have any idea what size pump I would need to achieve 540 RPM at 15 gallons per minute? So he's wanting to basically convert a tractor implement to run off of hydraulics. So it took me a day to respond to him because I got crazy busy. I said, hey there, got your message yesterday, and I was knee deep in working on some stuff. Forgot to message you back. My apologies. I'll do some calculating and try to figure that out for you. And then I came up with a 6.35 cubic inch hydraulic motor will yield 545 RPM at 15 gallon per minute. In a perfect world, given losses from friction in the lines, fittings, and valves, it would probably be slightly less, but it'd be close. And then I gave him the formula for calculating that. That's the kind of person I am, though. I try to help where I can. So if you guys are stuck on something, shoot me an email. I'll try to help you out with it. And then your business 500-ton R market goes out for around $650 per hour, Chattanooga, Tennessee. That to me seems kind of cheap. Tom Yanks are up 4-1. Red Army, nothing makes me more irritated than when I'm doing a lift and the people on the ground are wanting me to reach outside the load chart and beyond. That's when you say no. That's another quality a crane operator's got to have. He's got to have the ability to say no. And I mean, it happens, but you're sitting in that seat. Your goal, your number one priority is to make sure everyone is safe. That is priority number one. And then priority number two is the safety of the crane, because if the crane's not safe, nobody else is safe. And at least this is the way I rank it. First priority, safety of everybody around the crane. Second priority is the safety of the crane, because that pertains to priority number one. And then priority number three is my safety, because, well, that pertains to all of that as well. But the reason why I've listed in that order is if something started going south, if I had to ditch the crane to save someone on the ground, I would put myself in jeopardy before I put someone else in jeopardy. Smedco says that Kevin Roach, I have no idea why they didn't use hydraulic assist like on the bigger Tadano pickers. Makes it easy as Liebherr swingaways. I wish they would have put hydraulic cylinder on the 180G. That jib is it's kind of a pain to get it pulled up on the ramp. Smedco, that and the stupid handle never fits where you have to set up to have room to swing the jib. Are you talking about the crank handle, Smedco? That I'm not a big fan of that. I understand why they do it, because you can crank the pins in without having to climb up a ladder and swing a hammer. But yeah, it's effective, but it's a pain. None of your business. We are covered under 1926. Corey Japan makes a good point. People around the crane always think they know better That is just a fact. And as an operator, you really know the best. So I always ask, can you do better? Yes. Then do you have a license? No. Then yeah, I can see that. Red Army, you flipped the crane before. That's no good. Oh, Red Army, not flipped, but dug the outrigger 6 feet into the earth. Red Army, based on what you said earlier, you may need to invest in some bigger crane mats. John Leininger, I can't stand people around my truck when I'm moving it. I will stop until they move away. Yeah. Kevin said, would a 1/2-inch impact work with a square drive to make up those Tadano jib pins? I've been wanting to try it. I don't know. That's a good question, but an impact based on just the fact that how it operates with the impact, it would be a bad day if you twisted that square drive off inside those pins. So I don't know. I don't know how much impact those square drives will take. I could call some people and find out, though. I've got some pretty good connections at Tadano. I can grab my phone, and there's probably 12 or 13 different people I could call right now and get a response. But next time I'm on the phone with them about something, I'll ask them about that. See what the response is. Terry P says, I've used Signature Crane in Canada Crane in Mammut, and they always came out to survey the job site first. And we do go out and do some job site surveys beforehand on some jobs. Andy B, how are you doing? Says, hello, Jimmy. Hi, everybody. Just getting here. Drew Bradley, I can extend and retract, kind of. There's a procedure for it, and there's actually load charts for extending and retracting with a load. But you have to make some adjustments before that process is started. Well, Smedco answered your question there, Kevin. Says it does. One of our guys made up something for a cordless drill. I could see a cordless drill working well. I'm not sure about an impact. I mean, if your pin hung up and you were just banging away on it, that impact may twist that square drive off. But a cordless drill would work good. The narrator says that Drew Bradley with my Liebherr Icana has telescoping capability. I don't have a pinning boom though. So with the Tadano and the pinning boom, say I want to extend section 5 with a load. Section 5 is the smallest section towards the tip. I have to have that section ran out approximately a foot to 24 inches, somewhere between 12 inches and 24 inches, and unpinned from the section below it with the telescopic cylinder pinned into section number 5. Then I can telescope with the load up to within 24 inches of its final pinning point. So I can't allow the crane to pin and unpin with the load hanging on the hook. I hope that makes sense. Let's see. Core Japan, have you seen the video from? I have not seen that. 2 cranes in the water and the roof of a house was open. That's no good. Smithco, that handle is made out of the softest stuff that counts as steel, so it would soak up a bunch of the hammering if you keep a length of it as part of your adapter. Yeah, that's true. The narrator, you're not hijacking anything. Lao Wei, hello. Hopefully I pronounced that right. None of your business. The Liebherr 11200 is the largest hydro. And I've got a picture of it on my phone with the boom broken half. Kevin, yes. Why can't you let it pin with the load? Too much shock. I'm assuming that's what it's all about, is too much shock. When the section actually goes past the pinning point, extends the pins and then slams back down. I'm guessing that's probably why they don't want you pinning and unpinning with the load. Andy B, have I missed a special announcement? Would anybody in comments that's been around the stream? Oh shoot, that's an hour and 35 minutes long already. Smedco, Andy B, I think I did too. At the customer's request, I had to take a video down, and it's the one that was performing very well. It was the recovery video. Tom, did cranes assemble the pyramids? I would assume that rudimentary wooden human-powered cranes probably assisted in assembling the pyramids. So imagine how big the pyramids would be if they had today's technology. Terry P says load shock is operator error. Not necessarily. What we're talking about is telescoping with a load, and with the pinning boom, when like on the 180G that I operate, say I'm running section out to 90%, it'll actually go to 92%, 91 or 92%, and run the boom pins out, and then it comes back to 90%. And at that point, it hits fairly hard when it pins that section. Senseless Fabrication, how are you doing? I think if the Egyptians had our technology today when they were building the pyramids, the whole continent of Africa would probably be a pyramid. No, things are going pretty good, Senseless Fabrication. Just hanging out. Terry Schaefer says, keep the videos coming. Great job, Jimmy. Good night from Florida. Thanks for stopping in, Terry. Drew Bradley, don't feel bad about the video on my old channel of 230,000 subs deleted without warning, lost all desire to upload again. That's terrible. Oh, Kevin Roach, you would like running day trade in DC. They use hydros to drive pile with some companies. Oh wow, that's pretty hard on a pinning boom or a hydraulic boom. Oh, King 2042 says building pyramids today. They did it on a program called If They Build It Today. I'll have to look for that. That would be pretty interesting. Well, this definitely went a lot longer than I anticipated. I wasn't planning on an hour and 40-minute live stream, but here we are. We do have 60 thumbs up now, though. Looks like I have a few emails. Let's see. I got an email from a guy. So somehow a channel got blocked, and I don't know how. And he said, I'm still blocked. I've been subscribed and supporting you for ages. I'm unsubscribing. I'm working on trying to get you lined out there, big boy, and I apologize if you're still watching. This YouTube thing is kind of tricky sometimes. So I've submitted a request to figure out why you're blocked on my channel. So I guess they're going to blast the cranes on Saturday in New Orleans. That's one of the emails I got. But so we're an hour and 40 minutes in. I got to work tomorrow. So I'm going to go hang out with the wife. And let's see. Drew Bradley says he needs to email you his channel. So, Big Boy, if you're still watching, email me your channel link, and that way I can send it to YouTube and have them figure out why you're blocked on the channel, because you're not showing up in my blocked people on here. And he says he needs to email you his channel, and that will aid in unblocking him. But yeah, the narrator, have fun, enjoy your Chipotle. I'm assuming that's what she ordered because that's kind of her thing is Chipotle. AZ Wrenchmaster says, take care, bud. I'm out. So anyway, thanks everybody for tuning in. Thank you to all the new subscribers for joining. And thanks to all the old subscribers that have been around for almost this has been almost 2 years. It'll be 2 years in February. So this wouldn't be what it is without all of you. So I greatly appreciate all the support and you guys tuning in to everything that I throw out there. I hope you guys all have a safe and productive weekend. I think I'm gonna do the time lapse cell phone tower video. I'll try to get it edited. Depends on what time I get off tomorrow. If I get off work early enough tomorrow, I'll try to get it done tomorrow and uploaded. If not, it'll probably be maybe Sunday. Oh, Kevin's got to do cell tower work, 14 hours. Have fun with your cell towers. I'm not a fan of cell towers. But anyway, with that, I appreciate all of you. And To the Top Crane is out.